So I can do it pretty good now if it's the right size one, but the sleep sack thing.
Yeah, if you got the halo, you don't need to.
That thing is fantastic. They're very cozy, lots of room, easy.
Which makes sense. I mean, they had to come up with something that was just front.
So easy.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, because otherwise, like when you're trying to do it,
it was tough.
It's the middle of the night.
It was tough,
and you're trying to, and there's no like, you got to be good at it.
Yeah. How long do they say that goes for? Is there a particular
Swaddling?
time? Yeah, like until the baby doesn't.
Until they're 12. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like, calm down. Time in.
Going to school.
This is the Gray Hair and Daycare Podcast, with a combined age of 111 years and a combined IQ right in that same range. Your hosts, Frank Sirio and Carlo Russo. Welcome back.
We're back, buddy.
We are here, and it's episode 22. 22.
I don't know the math anymore.
It's
with my hands. 10,
that's
22.
it. 22. Episode 22.
Goodness gracious.
We are 2 episodes into little baby Josie actually being around.
That's right. And last week, or the last podcast we did, episode 21, it was the first episode that you started with a little different introduction than you usually do.
That's true, because the introduction is now no more produce. My name is Frank Sirio. I am 55 years old, and my daughter is 27 days old, almost a month old already.
Wow.
Yeah.
Almost a month.
It's insane.
I know it's everybody says it's cliche, whatever, but time flies, man. And you're waiting all 9 months, whatever, and then like a month goes by like that, and you're like, what's going on?
It is incredible how fast she's changing.
Yeah.
And then obviously you're so busy too, depending on what is going on, that it just goes by in the blink of an eye. We'll talk a little bit about it later on. I'm already back to work. I had a month. I haven't had a month off since I was 12 years old, and a month.
Yeah,
and gone.
I was here last week, and when you told me I have to go back to work next week, I was like, "What? What do you mean?
Yeah,
aren't you all?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, it's going to be a month."
Yeah, one day a week. And it was nice to get back, but yeah, it is. It is absolutely flying by.
And now, because you're going to see such big difference of the baby, the size and the things that she's going to be doing so rapidly, oh my God, like just now I saw her last week, and then I came in today and totally, I'm like, oh my God, she's full. She's got a little size to it. Oh, it's so cool. She's adorable. She is adorable.
She really is cute.
She is adorable.
And the more and more we get to it is an absolute, like a drug. It's like a high. Getting a reaction when I say my patented line of, hello, I'm daddy. I'm the favorite.
I'm the favorite.
And I get a smile that I know is not gas. That is a real smile. It is just, there's nothing like it.
And it just gets better.
Yeah.
It just gets
that's
more,
what I was talking to my sister in Texas yesterday, and she's like, wait until she says your name. Like, wait until she knows, giggles.
Yeah. She's like, yeah.
Right. Like, there's none of that. So, yeah, it is.
And then when they get a little bit more, I love the part where they're sturdy. Where you can hold that baby, play with it.
Yep.
You know it's not going to... Like right now, you're still kind of like, okay, everybody kind of be good. Don't get too crazy. But there's going to be that time down that line, couple, 3, 4, 5 months.
Oh, yeah.
And that's just going to be like, get
a little more solid.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's when you start having fun.
Yeah.
That's when it's a little more safer. And
yeah. Yeah, because you're playing. You're just always waiting for the head to like
right now it's like
around.
Fragile.
Yeah.
You're like that, and eventually, and it's going to come quickly.
Yeah.
It's going to just like this has already been a month.
Yeah.
It's going to come quickly where you're just you're actually going to be playing and moving around and stuff like that. So it's such a good time.
It is. It's been. It's been a lot of fun, and to have to have Kelly feeling better.
Yes.
And more like herself.
Yeah.
That's huge too. So it was funny because I was back to work for the first time yesterday, had a couple video calls with my team, and of course, as a treat, like Kelly walks in and with the baby, and immediately I hear from my assistant, she doesn't even look like she was pregnant. She looks fantastic, and I'm like, I know she's right back. Yeah. She's doing great, and the main thing is she feels better. But if you say that to her, she's like, I don't look like I'm not done. But no, it's been really good. So. Yeah. Last episode was long and a very detailed account of
which was
everything
needed.
that happened. I felt like I wanted to give everybody the whole experience of what we did. But I think now we're going to be able to get back to much more our regular format, do a bunch of our segments that we usually do.
Yeah.
And the first one we're going to do.
What is it?
Although it's going to be a little bit different this time because usually I abuse your good nature by making you do a bunch of stuff that's crazy.
That's right.
So you don't need a helmet this time. We'll go into Crash Test Daddy. Now, Crash Test Daddy, this time, what I wanted to do is just talk. So this is, she's almost a month old. Mm-hmm. We've been through a lot. We're adjusting. We're adapting on the fly.
Sure.
And there have been really 5 or 6 products that we have relied on, that we have picked up in the last, either had and we're using heavily now, or we picked up since we got home from the hospital, that have been absolute game changer, like gotta have it, wonderful things.
They've saved the day.
They have saved the day. So I'm going to try when I edit this thing to put up links and pictures, because I'm not going to have all this stuff, but we'll at least talk about.
We're going to get fancy, guys. We're going to get fancy.
So now the first thing was when we got home, the pacifier. The first pacifier we used was gifted to us by your son
and
his girlfriend. Yeah. They left a little gift basket for us, but it was a pacifier for a bigger kid. And I was like, try it anyway, like see if this will work. But immediately went on Amazon, ordered like the top 5 most popular for an infant, because there's all kinds of different ones.
Yep,
one made by Philips, one made, like all these different ones. Mm-hmm. The one that she likes we tried all of them. It's called the MAM, M-A-M, Original Start Newborn Baby Pacifier. 4.7 out of 5 stars with 18,000 ratings.
Okay.
It was like $8.50 for a 2-pack.
Okay.
So, but that was the one. That is the one. That's the only one she really likes. We don't use it a lot, but every once in a while, and it works.
I remember when we had our kids, both of them. The hospital sent us home with what they recommended. They didn't do that, I see.
For a pacifier.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nope. The only thing they sent us home with is one of the things on this list, is a manual breast pump. That was the only thing.
I mean, this could be a segment next week, or Carlo was wrong. But I believe we were sent home with one. They gave you a binky. I believe so, yeah.
Yeah. What did you call it?
Binky?
You call it a binky?
Binky? What?
Sometimes I say binky. Sometimes I say knucker.
Never said that.
I don't know why knucker.
I do call my wife that, though. Give me them knucker. No, I'm kidding.
Trina gets called. I don't believe that.
No, I've never heard that word in my life.
No, I think my sister. I think my nephew. They called it a knucker.
Do people say baba or?
Maybe. I don't know. There's all kinds of crazy names.
Let us know what you guys say.
What is your name for a pacifier? I typically say binky or knucker. But so the MAM Original Start Newborn Baby Pacifier on Amazon was
it's a winner.
That's the winner. Perfect. The next thing is that this is really good. Now, do you remember swaddling?
Yes.
Do you remember how to do it?
I would fail.
There's an art.
I know how to make a burrito. Right. Is it close to a burrito?
It's kind of like a burrito. So when you're at the hospital, and first of all, at that point, I'm sleep deprived.
Right.
I'm trying to pay attention, but I'm like, this is like, I'm not a Boy Scout. I don't know how, I feel like I was lost.
The physics behind it's like, I can't.
And then the ones they have in the hospital, they have all the same ones. You get home and we're like, get a swaddle, and it's like 3 times bigger. I'm like, how do I make this?
I've trained on this.
Is this like I could wrap Watson in this thing? They're huge. So I don't know. But I got kinda of course, you can go online, you're looking at stuff. But the hot setup, it's called the Halo, Halo, 100% cotton sleep sack swaddle. 3-way adjustable wearable blanket. Has 4.6 out of 5 stars with 26,000 ratings. $30. And this is the best thing. So it's got little armholes and it's just a sack, right? Okay. And then it has wings. One wing goes over. The other wing has Velcro. It is the best thing ever. So you get her in there, you get her little arms through the armholes, zip up. She's all in there. And then it's literally arm down, all the way over, tuck it in, other one around, arm down, snug as a bug in a rug.
No brainer.
Loves it.
And the tighter,
easy.
the better.
The
close, I don't know about your daughter, but generally the babies want to be so.
I think so we're at the point now where we only swaddle her at night to try to get her to sleep. It does help. But she likes to have her hands up.
Like out, like freely?
Well, so the one nurse, Lexi, that showed me how to do a swaddle. Okay. You take the square, you fold it down, and then when you fold it over the first time, it kind of makes a pocket for their hands. And then you basically do them like a vampire, right across their chest, and it kind of holds up. But then they can get to their hands if they want to.
Gotcha.
Now, a lot of people say, "Oh no, hands because they might get scratched." My sister Lucille is always like, "I can't believe you let her have her hands free because she's worried about scratches."
Absolutely,
but she hasn't. She's been okay. Although this morning, she was getting a little fussy, and Kelly was getting ready to feed her, and she was waiting a little bit too long, and she just like whacked herself in the head, bonk. And I'm like, "Hey, okay, calm down." Yeah, but the swaddle thing. So there's different ways. But so I can do it pretty good now if it's the right size one. But the sleep sack thing.
Yeah, if you got the Halo, you don't need to.
That thing is fantastic. They're very cozy, lots of room, easy.
Which makes sense. I mean, they had to come up with something that was just front.
So easy. Because otherwise, like when you're trying to do it,
was tough.
It's the middle of the night.
It was tough,
and you're trying to, and there's no you got to be good at it.
Yeah. How long do they say that goes for? Is there a particular time? Yeah, until the baby doesn't.
Until they're 12. Yeah. It's just like, calm down. Time in.
Going to school.
No, but so we were doing it a lot in the beginning, especially when she was still regulating her body temperature.
Right.
Swaddle. It was like outfit, swaddle, blanket over that, and a hat. But now we do it really because we want to try to encourage longer sleeps at night.
Sure.
So we're doing the swaddling at night, and that seems to extend it a little. But those sleep sacks are awesome. So
we're the Halo and the MAM.
MAM for the pacifier. Halo cotton sleep sack swaddle, awesome. The other one that immediately that we already talked about,
and I knew this was going to be a winner.
You knew it was going to be a winner, and it absolutely is. It is it gets more use than anything.
That's so cool.
The My Breast Friend nursing pillow, and then there's another brand, but all of the lactation consultants, there's like 2 big brands. There's this one and another one, and I don't remember what the name of it is, but all of the lactation consultants that we've talked to, and we've talked to a few now between the hospital and the pediatrician's office, all say My Breast Friend is the one.
What you guys use,
yeah, and it's been great. Kelly uses it very consistently.
Easy.
Yep, she's used to it. Boom, boom, and it really works.
That's awesome.
That's the My Breast Friend nursing pillow. 4.6 out of 5 stars, around 7,000 ratings, $47, and sometimes you see them up for less.
And they're all washable. Remember,
it has a whole thing. You zip it off and you wash it. But yeah, that was key in the beginning. Kelly wasn't using it. Yeah. Because she was just trying, and I remember you said her posture. It made it harder. Using it helps her to be more upright. It's easier on her. It's easy for the baby. Great product. The next one, which was new in the beginning with the breastfeeding, was challenging. Was before her milk comes in. Yeah. It was like, it wasn't, it's time to feed and let's go. Right. She would have to ice her breasts first. They recommended that. And then she would have to pump before feeding to kind of like get things going, right? But the ice packs, what are you going to do, right? So the next one is exactly what she used, and they're called the Lansinoh, Lansinoh, Lansinoh Breast Therapy Packs. 4.6 out of 5 stars, 29,000 ratings, $12. Basically, it's just a little breast sized with a cutout ice pack. You just pop heat or cold. So we had a couple of them in the freezer. Whenever she needed them, I'd swap them out. She put those in, and that was like step one as she was as her milk was coming in. She really loved those.
Now, when you say heated,
I don't know.
Pop them in the microwave?
I guess. She always wanted them just ice, and that's what we did. But apparently they can be hot or cold.
Okay.
So the Lansinoh breast therapy packs, we bought multiples so we could always have them ready.
Have them ready, yeah.
And then tied with that, with the pump, this is the pump they gave us, but we also ordered different size parts for it. It's called the Medela Manual Breast Pump, 4.5 out of 5 stars, 20,000 ratings, $37. Super simple, plastic, and it's just different. So there's different size flanges, but depending on the mom's anatomy, and it's just a simple kind of one-handed pump, and it does a great job. And that
manual?
Yep, yeah. Now we have another one which we haven't started using yet. That is the whole schmear, yeah, that thing. We haven't used that yet. She's probably going to start that in the next week or so. But the pump, when she had to pump before feeding, made a huge difference.
Sure.
Very helpful. So the Medela Manual Breast Pump.
Oh, that's manual right there.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Yeah. It was super simple, easy to clean, and did a great job. And then the number one thing, and I realize this is not.
I think we've said this a couple times. Yeah. It's so good.
The Cradle Wise, that thing. There's one problem with the Cradle Wise, which I will discuss because they have not resolved it yet.
Okay.
But the Cradle Wise is absolute just lifesaver. Like we put her down, and if she's already asleep, you put her down and everything, she just snoozes along. The minute she starts to move or stir, it starts with the soothing, a kind of a bouncing motion, just like a parent would. And then it plays, there's different sounds, white noise sounds. It does that. We haven't even used the feature. You can actually do a custom process. I'm not sure, they call it a recipe, where you tell it, I want it to do nothing for 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, I want you to go to level 1.
So you can do a whole program.
When you figure out what your baby likes. Now we've been lucky, and the baby's just like, what it does, she likes, and it will. She'll wake up, she'll stir, and it will get her back to sleep. And as soon as she goes back to sleep, it stops. So it absolutely, the other thing that's very nice is it has reporting. So you can see from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., there's a graph every day. Or not 8 p.m., 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. You see the whole day, and it tracks when she's asleep, when she stirs, when it successfully kind of gets her back to sleep. You can see it all and track how they're sleeping.
Wow.
So absolutely, it is a big investment, but there's ways you can do it where you rent them, you can get them used sometimes. Okay. And
look into that as well.
I think compared to the Snoo, which is not a whole lot less expensive, but the Snoo is just a bassinet. This, because it will go from bassinet to cradle.
You're going to have it longer.
Yep, you're going to have a lot
worth
more
your
use
money.
out of it. Now, technical issue. So one of the features that the Cradle Wise has is you have a care team or a caregiver account. So I have an account. It's on my phone. It's on Kelly's phone. So if I'm around the house, I can watch, I can hear her.
Okay.
I can do all that if she's in the bed.
Yeah, you can monitor.
And it also will just send alerts. Like if I put her down, she's sleeping, and I come down working on something, if she wakes up, I get an alert that says, baby Josie's awake.
Gotcha.
And so, and then I can look and listen in before I run back up there. So my sisters and Kelly's sister and sister-in-law, they all have accounts, and then we can set it up so to what they get to see.
Okay.
So you can set it up so you could only see on Tuesdays.
Gotcha.
Or you could see all the time, or you could see and hear. and they get the same alerts. So my sister in Texas, if she gets an alert that says, that baby Josie just went into the cradle wise, she can turn it up, flip it on, and see the baby. Now, my sister Paula, one day, a couple weeks ago, says, gee, what's the speaker when I'm watching? Because she watches it like TV. A normal guy watches ESPN, right? Yeah. Like she's watching it.
She's got popcorn.
She's watching it constantly. So she really loves it, but she's like, what's the speaker thing? And I'm like, what do you mean, what's the speaker? She's like, there's an icon. And I'm like, well, you're not supposed to have that. Because the way I set it up for everybody, all the sisters and sister-in-law they can view whenever the baby's in the cradle wise, but no audio, because the cradle wise is in our bedroom. So if I'm having a conversation with my wife, I don't want everybody to be
privacy,
right? So, and I'm like, well, what do you mean? She's like, well, there's the thing. And I'm like, well, what happens when you press it?
I hear you.
And she's like, well, I hear some noise, and I'm like, I'm going to hang up the phone. I was on the phone there. I'm going to hang up. I'm going to say a word.
You tell me what it is.
And you tell me, and sure enough, she could hear it, even though she's not supposed to have it. So I have reported that to the tech support at CradleWise, and it's been like a week and a half, and they every once in a while send me an email saying we're still working on it.
Well, you might have found something.
That's really kind of a big thing when you think about it, because if she's like that's happening, that's kind of a big thing. Yeah, so hopefully they take care of it. But one day she'll have the speaker icon. One day,
and then it goes away.
And then it goes away. But then the next day it's back.
Okay.
So
I do want to follow up to what we started our podcast with many, many, many months back, was the books of the dogs.
Yes.
How has that been with the animals?
The cradle-wise?
No,
or just
the whole
generally
baby.
with the baby?
I just want to kind of circle back to...
It has been way easier.
Okay.
The
books made it.
Yeah. I mean, so we didn't have a whole lot of opportunity. We didn't have the opportunity to set it up the way they all said to, and to bring them something before, because we came home so late. We just came home.
Right.
They both react differently. I think they are both adjusting to, just like we are,
another person.
Because they don't. If either of us wake up in the night, they get up. They're like, okay. Where's the party? Like they want
morning.
They want to be involved no matter what.
Right.
So every time Kelly gets up to feed the baby,
feeding the baby,
they're up. So they're exhausted almost all the time, right? Because they're not sleeping through the night anymore.
They have no idea what's going on.
I have a picture. It's really funny. I just took a picture from the doorway to the bedroom, because it was like, there's Kelly in bed with the baby, and there's Watson completely, like, almost, he looked like a cartoon flattened out, like when the Roadrunner gets run over.
Like a rug,
on the bed.
A bear rug.
And then the opposite way, Rumple on the floor, same way. Just like, when is this going to end? They were very tired. So I think next to Kelly, they are the most sleep deprived. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, but, I mean, it doesn't seem any different when I come. I mean, the dogs are...
No, interacting with that, like, they understand the limits. They will get up close.
They do. I saw that.
Even when, I mean, Kelly is confident enough now. If she's in bed and nursing, she'll let them up on the bed, and they'll come right up. Rumple will be on her knee while she's feeding and just hanging out. Even Watson will get right up there. And
it's kind of cute, though.
It's awesome. The only thing I worry about is Watson has a tendency, if he wants to get your attention, he will whack you. And he's got a paw that's like almost the size of my fist. So I get a little itchy when he's that close, or when he's in range that he might do that. But if he's up close and his snout is near the baby, he can't do that anyway. Right. But no, they have been fantastic.
But I did notice that they want some attention.
It was funny because so Carlo shows up and Kelly brings the baby out, and you start paying attention, and Rumple will do this. Rumple will sometimes bark when people leave, but she'll bark when I hug Kelly. Right. So there's an attention thing there. So he starts paying attention and Rumple starts barking what's going on?
Play with me.
Oh yeah. Yes. They need, and I do think I've been trying to, because Kelly pays a lot of attention to the dogs normally. Sure. And now she is so focused on the baby. Yeah. I'm trying to pick it up with them and spend a little bit more time. And I think Watson, gets it. Like Watson is more with me. Like he'll come seek me out. Rumple is a little more like wants to be pursued. Gotcha. Wants the attention. The short answer is they've been great, but they do, they want some attention too. No, now as the weather's getting nicer, if I go outside, they're both out there with me and running around, and that's a good thing too.
So it's nice to I think they're kind of our circle around from the books that you've read and everything that we were talking about. Now we have it obviously happening live. Yep. And I didn't know what to expect, actually, because I knew the dogs were very high energy. Yep. So I didn't know what to expect. I knew they weren't mean dogs, so it wasn't. Right. We weren't worried about that. I think just the energy and the size of Watson
and he's
was scaring me.
He could he could hurt you.
The force, yeah. Out of just playing. Yeah.
And so, but no, they're. I think it's gone. I think as well as you could have expected, and I think it's going to be. Probably more so with Watson. He just seems more interested in her than Rumple. I think that's going to be a good relationship. I think they're going to be buddies.
Can I ask you a question about now that you do have the baby?
Yes.
And you're going through your, you're going through your routines and
yeah.
So when we started this, you had the books on parenting, the books on having pets, the videos of how to, birthing, the labor,
the childbirth
and
videos.
Childbirth and other. Now that you are going, what do you think that got you? Did you think that helped? Do you think that it just, when it happens and you figure it out? What's your real feeling? And this is yours. I mean, this is.
I'm reluctant to say. My instinct answer to that question is none of it was useful. But I will qualify that in Kelly is a like a lifelong learner. Reads. Yeah. She reads voraciously, even more than I do. She has done way more of that than I have. So I think I benefit from her doing that. Right. Without a doubt. So I think I have picked up a lot more once I started to get pushed videos through social media and online and on YouTube. I've learned lots of little things that have been effective, right? Like that have been surprising. Stupid little things like I've never dressed a baby.
Right.
Getting that little girl's arm into a sleeve is like, how do you do it? But I saw a video and you turn the sleeve inside out, reach through, grab her little hand, and I'm like, This is fantastic. I showed Kelly, and Kelly's like, where did you learn that? YouTube. So I think there's so much out there now that didn't used to be there, but Kelly continues to read all this stuff.
But that's what she is. I mean, that's who. I mean, she does that with, which is great. But I remember like when I first did, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta figure this out, and I'm not going to know how to do it. And then when it happens, you figured it out.
Yeah.
And you do it. And I just wanted to, kind of like for me, I'm 56 years old. I've never had to change a baby girl.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't know how that is.
Yep.
I don't, you know what I mean? So
yeah,
I've had two boys and they were basically the same, you watch out, you're going to get peed on.
Right. And you still got to be careful with that.
Right. Sure. See, I guess that would be the same thing. But that to me would be, even now having two kids grown and all that.
Sure.
If somebody goes,
it would be a new thing.
Yeah. Like if I had a granddaughter, you know what I mean? I'm like, I don't know what to do.
Yep.
So it's weird.
Oh yeah. There's definitely that side. No, I think there's definitely, I benefit from everything that Kelly has read. Mm-hmm. But I've learned stuff from social media and some reading, and some of the reading too. But yeah, there's little things like, there's no way, even if you do go through all that stuff, it's like kind of like studying for a test, right? Like in my mind, like when we brought her home, it wasn't like, oh, I remember in the books, they talk about their regulating temperature.
Yeah.
It was me just looking at this little girl crying, thinking, and having that realization, like, she's been in a 98-degree waterbed.
And now she's not.
Now she's not.
Right.
She must be cold. Get the hat.
Yep.
Right. So there
Put more things on her.
Yeah. So
it's neat, though. It's neat that when you go from that, it's all in the books in theory.
Theoretical.
Theoretical, right?
Yep.
And then, boom, it's there and go, okay, I got this.
Yeah.
Not I got this. And again, we never had YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube's great on everything.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to learn how to play piano tomorrow, YouTube will.
Well, it's funny. One of the things that happens, it's just like, not only do you experience all this stuff, but then when you talk to experienced mothers, everything has changed. Right. Somebody who had like for Trina
25 years ago,
now
18 years ago.
It's completely different.
Absolutely.
And there's all these things that she did that everybody did. And now they're like, oh no, you can't do this. You can't do that.
Right,
there's all these crazy rules, which some of them are nonsense, but some of them probably, maybe they've learned
Makes
something.
sense,
But so it is, it's an evolving art as it goes through.
So it's neat. While you were talking, I was just thinking about all these things we were talking prior to the baby coming, and very important.
What was really
and now
where the rubber meets the road with a lot of that stuff is
but it's good to have.
Yes, without a doubt. Because a lot of it too, I'm sure, is just feeling. If you went into it completely blind, that it would be so terrifying. Right. So just even if you don't use any of it, but feeling like, oh yeah, I got a toolkit that I can use, even though you never touch one of those tools, you feel a little bit better.
Well, you think you have a manual, you go, oh yeah, I can figure this out then.
Yeah.
And then it makes you feel like you're not, like you said, walking in blind.
Well, one of the things we'll talk about later is one of the simplest things, diapers, that. I won't spoil it. We'll talk about it, but there are certain things that you think, oh yeah, like I got this.
Yep.
That's
what we call a teaser.
Yep. That's
what we call a teaser in the business.
But anyway, so that was our review. I think those 6 products that we talked about: the Nucker, the sleep sack, the nursing pillow, the breast therapy packs, the manual pump, and the Cradle Wise. Absolute game changer. Yeah. Make your life so much easier. So that is Crash Test Daddy. And we're going to get right into our next segment. Check, please.
All right, brother.
So this is always, you're on the spot again. So it was a few weeks ago we did this. Certainly it was a few weeks before the baby.
Right.
So, and we just talked about some of the things in the Crash Test Daddy segment that we have bought since. So there's quite a bit.
Yeah.
So so last time we were at 3503.43.
Wow. Okay.
And we had, we've bought some clothes. We bought, quite a bit. There's diapers in here now.
Okay.
So what do you think? You got about 5 weeks, I think.
5 weeks, and the baby's been around for about 4 of those 5 weeks now. Almost. Yep. What we talked about today, you're looking at maybe 30, another 40, 80, $120.
I'm gonna try to help you out.
Okay.
So there is one thing in here, and this is actually a cautionary tale. There is a bigger thing in here. So very nicely, we were gifted a car seat.
Okay.
Well, we were gifted 2 things.
Okay.
A car seat from Kelly's brother and his wife. Okay. Very nice. And we were gifted a stroller from my brother and his wife.
Aww.
So one of the things to think about as you're doing this is, as there are in many things in life, there are whole brand ecosystems where stuff works together.
Okay.
We were not fully aware of or invested in a particular one. So the car seat we received was a Graco car seat, and very nice one. It's got the carrier, so you pop her right in. And then the stroller was an Uppa-Baby, UPPA, Uppa-Baby.
Never heard of that.
Very nice. They're very nice. But so now she's a little bean.
She's a little bean.
And the stroller is for
bigger beans.
Bigger. So bigger beans. You can't. So I'm like, okay, so how do we get an adapter so we can use the stroller? Because we want to take little walks up and down the driveway.
Gotcha.
And when we look, the way you do that is either getting a bassinet, an Upper Baby bassinet that attaches to the stroller, or you get the Upper Baby car seat, and the car seat plugs right in.
Oh, so the other car seat now.
So now I'm looking at it and going, okay, well, so the bassinet, which we'll only use in the stroller, is $200, right? Or we can get this other car seat. Then we have 2 car seats.
2 things, yeah.
But then if we go somewhere with the stroller, then comes right out of the car into the stroller.
Pop in and out. Boom, boom.
So the moral of the story is...
I know which one you bought.
Yeah. The moral of the story is look into it, because a lot of these things do work together.
Yep. And it makes it so much easier when you can go from one to the other without thinking about it.
Yeah, and I will say too, the Upper Baby stuff is beautifully designed work. Like you can take that stroller, one hand, fold it up, one hand,
and that's the important thing that you just said.
Yep.
One hand.
Yep.
Because you will only have one hand to work with.
You got a kid in the other hand.
That's it.
So
okay, so
we did buy another car, an Upper Baby car seat, to go with the stroller.
Gotcha.
So that's
even though the other 2 were gifted, you purchased something.
And now
too.
basically what we've done is we've got the original one is in the second car, my car, and then the main car has the new one that also goes with the stroller.
Okay, so I'm going to I overshoot it and then I I'm going to say that car.
I don't think you've ever overshot it. No, you're always a little under.
I'm going to say the car that you had to buy, the car seat that you had to buy, probably a good. It's a good brand. Not probably. It is a good brand, so it's going to cost.
Yeah.
I don't know what they cost nowadays, because back in my day, it was 20 years ago.
Couple $300.
Okay, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was going to say $399 to $499. So I'll just say $400, and that's another one. I'm going to say we're up to right now at $4,800.
Little over.
I was gonna say 5. Oh, I'm a little over. Okay.
4309 63. So about $800.
Okay.
Mostly the car seat, lots of diapers already. Yeah. The knuckers, all the miscellaneous stuff. Now we didn't any of the personal care stuff for Kelly. We did not include. So only stuff directly to the
baby,
directly for the baby, but all the sleep sacks, the swaddle stuff, all those things in there. So yeah, we're up to a little over $4,000.
So in the last 5 weeks, you said you upped it $800.
Yeah, basically $806. Yeah, not bad, not bad. I honestly thought it was going to be way more than these numbers would be way higher.
Yeah,
I really did.
But you got a lot of nice stuff. People,
So
if
you
had to buy all that stuff, you'd be in the thousands and thousands more.
I would guess at least 2.5 times where we're at now.
Strollers and this.
Oh,
and that,
yes, so much stuff. So that's where we are.
Keep going. Keep giving them stuff.
Check, please.
gives her
don't let your generosity come to an end. Keep sending us stuff. But so that is the check please update.
Yes.
Now we get to do the fun one, another one where you get to guess. I always like this one. It is the diaper diet. So,
all right.
So now I'm going to try to be fair, because now if you recall, the idea was as Kelly gained weight with the baby, I would try to lose as much or more.
She was gaining, you were losing.
Right. Now she has turned around. Now as she's losing,
you're gaining.
I want to try. I wanted to try to lose that way too.
Okay.
So
now you're both losing.
So the last time we did this, Kelly was up 32 pounds and I was down 15 and a half.
Okay.
So right before we went into the hospital, she gained a total of right up to the baby, gained a total of 34 pounds. Okay. So the last couple weeks of the pregnancy, she only gained a couple pounds.
2 pounds, yeah.
So she gained 34.
Okay.
And since coming home, it's been amazing, because for the first couple of weeks, like a week later, she still weighed, a week after we got home, she still weighed the same as she weighed when we went into the hospital. Okay. She lost no weight in the first week. But then in 1 week lost 18 pounds. And literally,
I got to get pregnant.
Can you imagine that? And has lost now more. So now she gained 34 pounds.
34 at the highest.
And then she has already lost 21 of those. So that means 55 pounds is my target. And last time, like I said, I had lost 15 and a half. So now you get to guess. So she is down 21 pounds. So the target is 55 pounds. And last time I was down 15 and a half.
From the start of everything.
Yes. From when we started, she went up.
Yep.
She went up 34, back down 21. And when she was up 34, I was down 15 and a half. And now she's come down another 21. And now we're going to guess. And you're guessing me.
How many pounds you've lost since then?
If any. Because there's been a lot of DoorDash and that kind of stuff.
I do see a lot of baskets up there with some good chocolates. He's giving me
There's been a lot of prepared foods. I've been going.
All right, I'm gonna be nice. You look good. You lost an additional. Now, how long is this again? 4 weeks?
The last time we did this was 7 weeks ago.
Ooh.
So 7 weeks ago, I had lost 15 and a half.
7 weeks. That doesn't.
Yeah, that was the last time we did it.
So healthy 1, 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm going to say you are down.
This is an awful position to put you in.
I know. A good thing we love each other.
Really is, and I can't be hurt. It's okay.
I'm going to say you lost an additional 10 pounds.
Okay. So that would make me down 25 and a half. I am actually down 22.2.
Okay.
So I lost another almost 7 pounds.
Okay.
So now
I was doing like
a couple pounds a week.
A couple pounds a week. Yeah.
So honestly, I think a lot of it.
That's good.
That most of that happened from going into the hospital till now.
Right.
So basically, the long story short is I am behind by 32.8 pounds.
Yes.
Now, but she's only got basically 13 pounds to get back to her original pre-pregnancy weight.
Baby.
And she looks it, right? Like she looked great. Yeah. So
she looked great pregnant, though. I mean,
yeah, she did. She did.
Come on.
It was after the pregnancy where she really suffered with the water weight. Yeah. It was amazing. Struggle, yeah, it was hard, but that's all on the mend now and good.
So she's got 13 and you got 30.
So if she gets back, and I'm sure she will. I shouldn't even say if. Right. When she gets back down to the last 13 that she's got to lose. Mm-hmm. That would mean I would have 45 pounds to go to tie. Wow. So I don't know if that's possible. I'm not sure. I think I could probably. I have
faith in you.
I think I can probably. You never know. You never know. I'm not sure. If I'm really trying to make an effort because I'm doing most of the food prep and stuff. Yeah. And it's funny because it is one of those things. I don't know if you've had this. I'm sure you have had this experience as a father.
Hit me up, brother.
That I was like, what's for dinner? I haven't thought of anything. Like, what do you want me to go get?
Oh.
And
yesterday, you mean?
But Kelly looked at me and said, well, we've been ordering in a lot. And basically was like, I really wish there was something that was a more healthy option.
Of course.
For the baby. Because what she eats.
What goes in comes out.
And I was like, oh. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't go get.
Right, it makes sense.
I couldn't go get food, and I just was like, okay. I went outside and I made a nice tomato sauce with Florentine, and I had some meatballs from the freezer. Boiled up some cafetal, much healthier.
Had a nice meal.
Nice home meal.
Yep.
And so I think I'm feeding my wife that's feeding my baby. Yeah. Will make me just as a halo effect.
Because you are that person. Once you see the steps of what you're doing.
Now that being said, I picked up Taco Bell for lunch for us.
It doesn't mean you can't sneak in and out of here.
Because I was like, well, I'm here.
I mean, your milk is only your milk.
Exactly. But so I think it will. I think it'll help. And we're going into summer, and
That's right.
I'll be doing all kinds of work outside.
Yeah. No, that's good.
So that's it. So I'm down. I'm upside down by 32.8.
But I'll tell you right now, you did well, because I think I said this in prior episodes. I was not as smart. I gained both pregnancies.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about dieting, really.
Yeah.
Wasn't even part of my...
Now, was that because I would imagine your mom must have been around a lot. Was your mom cooking?
Oh, yeah.
Well, so like that's it. Like that's just that. If you're,
it's not even fast food.
She would be
doesn't eat fast food.
Right.
So we weren't.
You were having great meals every night.
Yeah. Oh, I got to cook for the the pregnant.
You'd have to be Superman not to gain weight.
No, like, we gained weight, and then of course we were talking about it's so much easier when you have a team player. Hey, you want to get ice cream? How about some this, that, and the other? You just and so I commend you. You lost weight. You lost weight through this process. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, hopefully I can keep. I can keep going. I think I can. Yeah. I'm like the little engine that could. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway,
good for you guys.
Yeah, it'll be another. I will almost guarantee, because the calorie deficit that Kelly has right now with breastfeeding, I bet you anything the next time we do this, she's back to her start weight or less. She's gonna I guarantee it, because she's constantly. She's got to be burning 500, 600, 700 calories a day just on
doing what she's doing right.
Yeah, on top of her normal.
Well,
so
that's good. Well, you guys are on the right track.
Well, yeah, we're doing okay. So that brings us to the end of the diaper diet, and we can move into what just happened. So,
okay, this is the teaser in the beginning.
Yeah, we talked a little bit like this. So this is something that I often will say, because especially now, because things are happening so fast and we're going through different things. And I'll say to Kelly, so what should we talk about? And she's like, well, it would be funny to talk about the diaper thing. And I'm like, she's like, just make sure, kind of basically her point was, don't make us sound stupid, because we're not stupid. But
when you don't get a lot of sleep, stupidity is probably one of the things that we fall into.
This is just, I mean, it is funny, but we basically.
Oh, tell me what happened.
She's little, right? So in the beginning, 6 pounds, she was under 6 pounds.
Right.
When we got home.
Absolutely.
And so we have the N size or 0 size diapers.
Okay.
So we're using Pampers. They seem nice enough.
Yep.
But she still had her little umbilical cord thing.
Yep.
So you have to be careful with the diaper, not irritating or interfering with that. And she's so little, and there's no hips. There's nothing to
nothing's
holding stuff up, right? Yep. And so we're both struggling with, what do we do? So we started rolling down the front.
Okay. Yep.
So you roll down the front a little, pull it around. And that really didn't seem to work. So then I'm playing around with it and trying to get it to look like it fits right. Mm-hmm. So I start rolling the back down. But when you roll the back down, then the little tabbies that stick are the wrong way. So you got to do a twist. Gotcha. So it's becoming increasingly complicated. And
you're MacGyvering it.
We're
MacGyver.
And then we start having, and almost within a day or so, was the first time I was out at the table. Yeah. Kelly's in the bedroom, which is right, kind of the door to our bedroom is right there, kind of near our dining room table. And she's in the room, and the dogs are in there. And all of a sudden, the dogs respond to all kinds of noises outside. Sure. But I didn't hear anything. And all of a sudden, Rumple and Watson come charging out, barking. And I'm like, what's that? Kelly comes around the corner. And I'm like, what happened? And she looks and goes, well, your daughter pooped so loud, it scared Rumple.
Oh, my God. That's hilarious.
And I'm like, okay, there you go.
Wow.
She's a Cerio. But then we started having problems with blowouts.
Yeah. Oh, I hate that.
Right? So then it's like, we were doing we were ordering more sleep sacks, because I was doing a load of laundry every day.
And they go, it's backside, everything.
Well, and it's all over.
Yeah.
The outfit, the sleep sack, the pad underneath. The sheet, like
you're changing everything.
Yes, it's a lot. So at this point, this was early on, maybe so the one lactation consultant, really nice older lady that works for Summerwood Pediatrics. I don't remember her name, but she's great. We've seen her a couple of times. She's like, "What, do you have any other questions?" And of course, Kelly, we are not too proud to ask even the most ridiculous questions. Yeah. And so Kelly looks at me and she's like, "Well, we're having a problem with blowouts with the diapers," and she's like, "Okay, well, why don't we change her?" And
show me what you're doing.
And she said, and she just shows us, and she's just like, "Just put them on tight, and make sure the flares are there." And sure enough, that's all you had to do, was just put them on tight, no folding, no wrapping, no nothing, and then no more blowouts.
So let me get to because that's the number one thing that we were doing wrong. Obviously, is the tighter the seal. Right? Yes, you sealed the poops. Why were you just nervous enough not to do tight?
It was tight, but I was trying to get it on an angle and do that and trying to roll.
Sometimes
where it was just make it as tight as you can, right?
Yep.
And that's all it took. And then the ruffle, you got to make sure the ruffle around the leg is flared out. Right. But these things are amazing. Just the other day, I had no idea because I check and I'm like, oh, it's wet or it's a number 2. And Kelly tells me the other day, just look at the stripe. I'm like, what are you talking about? There's a stripe on the outside of the diaper that turns blue if it's a wet. I didn't know that. So I'm like, oh, okay, there it is. So no,
why would you know that?
I don't know. So we're good there with the diaper thing. But that was it. What I think now is fun is we had so many of those. Now that problem has gone away. The new problem is going through multiple diapers in a change. She has this thing, I have multiple times now. I kind of talk to her all the time when I'm doing these things, when I'm changing a diaper. And I'm always like, so what's it going to be? Are we going to have a single, a double, or are we going to go for a grand slam? Because one time, literally 4 diapers. It took me 4 diapers.
On one change.
And I'm like, I'm trying to be proactive. When we start off, I open up the little tub of Desitin. I have a wipe ready. Yeah. I put the new diaper under the existing diaper so I can remember. And I do it, and she poops. She poops on my hand. She pees a little.
Hilarious.
It's just like, so now I'm getting better at anticipating. But yeah, it's like for a while there, it was like almost always a double, or at least a ground rule double, and sometimes a triple. And the one time it was a grand slam.
You're going through those things.
And I'm thinking, I'm doing the math in my head. I'm like, these are 87 cents each.
Yeah.
You're going through.
This is going to go up another grand.
We already have graduated to buying the 200 packs. Because you go through them so fast.
So speaking about that, another throwback to our previous episode. Have you used the Diaper Genie now?
Oh, the Diaper Genie is another that almost made the list of it is. It's fantastic. But there's no more sausage.
Oh no,
there's no twisting.
What is it now?
It's just a tube. And you pull it out.
It is a snake, as they said.
It is a snake.
Ours was a sausage.
Yes, there's no twisting. It literally, but it works. It's super effective.
Yes. The Diaper
does a good job.
Great.
No problems with odor. Very nice. So the diaper change thing, that was one that she's just the woman. I'm sure the woman was thinking, these 2 people are idiots. What the heck
are they doing?
How are you having a hard time with this?
Why do you have rubber bands on here? What's going on?
Why is there duct tape? Yeah, it was not good. So there was that. The other thing that I think I said very early on, as far as how quickly they're moving, how quickly things are moving and changing.
Sure.
Is I said to Kelly, maybe a week in, I'm like, the baby we came home with has already disappeared.
Oh yeah.
It is unbelievable how, because you're fascinated by this, you're looking at it all the time, but she just changes so quickly.
That's why photos
from night to morning. Yeah, when you start going back through photos,
what?
Yeah, it is amazing, especially because she was so small and so skinny. So now she's starting to plump up, and she's got a little cheeks and chubby cheeks, and getting a little.
That is funny though. The thought of the disappearing baby. Whatever. she's
on like version 3.0 already.
Right.
It's just completely different.
And you fall in love with each version. It's like, oh yeah, okay, this is exactly what I thought you looked like. And then you look at a picture and goes, oh my God, that's nothing like we brought home.
Honestly, what you just hit on is exactly last time when I was talking about how I wanted to have this profound
feeling
thing to be able to explain what it meant. And I think what you just said is, since then, I've thought about it. I think that's what it boils down to, is if you have been lucky enough at any point in your life, hopefully everyone has, to be in that madly in love with somebody, that this is the person. This is the person for me.
Right.
And that's a wonderful thing, and hopefully it lasts longer. But it is also, the intensity of it is fleeting, I think. And it's there, and hopefully it builds into something that lasts a long time when we're talking about a relationship.
Sure.
But that intense realization is fleeting. It goes away. This is a day after day
adding
of just ramping up. Like, it is just, you can't possibly, you think I can't possibly love this little girl anymore. And then she just looks at you.
Yep.
And it's more and more and more.
And you know what the crazy thing is? I have a 24-year-old and an 18-year-old, and I look at them and I have the same falling in love.
Isn't that wonderful?
Feeling of these are my boys.
Yeah.
This is my baby.
Yeah.
This is my baby. Even though one baby comes with a face full of hair, and we have a drink together.
And the other one, you need a ladder to get.
And the other one, I need a ladder to comb his hair. I look at them, and every day you fall in love again, and more, because they're your baby. Like you said, the look of them from bringing them home is totally different from 4 weeks now. Yeah. So I'm still in that process. Yeah. I'm still like every day looking at them going, oh my God, they look different from a year ago. But now I just fell in love. You keep falling in love with your children, or you should at least.
Hopefully.
And it's a great time.
No, honestly, it hit me in the middle of the night. It was funny because the way we've been doing it, I'm very lucky. I try to get extra sleep for Kelly leading into the overnight, and then in the morning, but she isn't making me get up in the middle of the night, right? Like, we're together in the room, but she's handling the feeding. Yep. And I think we talked about it a long time ago in one of the episodes with my CPAP. Yep. My CPAP allows me to be completely under the covers. So if the lights are on, it doesn't matter, right?
So you're in your cave.
Yeah, we got this. So she turns the light on to change her or to set up to feed. I can just go pull the cover.
I never realized that, because you're breathing through that.
It's feeding air to you. It's like a deep sea diver. So I can literally pull the comfort all the way up over my head.
I didn't even think about that.
I do it all the time now, because I just get all the way under, and it's dark. So I'm not bothered by the light, and I can sleep. But then I'll wake up, and sometimes I'll just hang out under there, and I'll hear. And this is going to go from just ridiculous and stupid sounding.
We just hit the reel right now.
Hopefully one time I wake up and it's under, and I know the lights are on, but then I listen and I hear my wife humming Moon River to my baby. Aww. And I just think how I couldn't love her anymore. And I think awesome. It is if you're lucky enough, and I consider myself very lucky and very, very blessed, that this expanding relationship and love you have with your child also translates over to how I feel about my wife.
Absolutely.
Hearing that, I like, of course, and then I peek out. I pull the covers down.
You're fort.
And she's just so.
You got a machine on. You're crying. You're a mess.
I unstrap and I throw my mask off. And she's just, beaming happy. She's just enjoying the moment, being a mom. And it's funny. We talked about, that's another thing that we talked about a lot in the last couple of weeks is understanding. I think we both I see her all the time. There is a relationship there with the baby.
Oh yeah.
with her breastfeeding that is an absolutely beautiful thing to see.
What a bond.
But yeah, I feel like, what do I like?
Where's my bond?
What do I have to offer?
Where's my bond?
That can compete? Like, I joke around and say I'm daddy, I'm the favorite, but daddy can't do that.
Let's
right?
call it what it is.
It's not the same thing. So,
you know what your bond is going to be? Well, your thing is going to be taking care of your wife.
Well, I think there is
because
that
equals the baby's going to be also.
Yeah, I take great pleasure and pride now in, like, I'm doing everything I can, because I can't do that.
Because I think as men, that's what we
can't do.
Yeah, we can't do the others. We can't.
They can
give
do
birth.
Things we can't.
Right, we can't give birth, so it's the big one at first.
Yeah.
Right, and then after that, you're like, oh yeah, I can't do this either.
Right.
And I can't do that either, and so I think now is the time where you build that bond with your wife, because that will trickle to your daughter.
Yeah.
And then I think as fathers, later we have that building bond.
I think it equalizes a little.
Yeah, it will equal out.
What I think is funny, so I'm seeing that and thinking how wonderful it is, but at the same time thinking I don't have that.
Sure.
So when I interact with her, is, first of all, it gives you a license, for me, it gives you a license to be a complete idiot.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like, I have these conversations with her, and I will talk to her like she is a reporter, like she is one of my employees, like I work for her.
Yep.
Like, and I will hear,
she's the queen.
And whatever. Yeah. Like, and it'll be just, I don't speak Spanish. Like, we'll go back and forth, and I will hear, and Kelly will laugh. Right. And she'll just start laughing at me, but it's fun. It's fun. It makes it fun. And then the ultimate fun has been building a playlist of songs.
Yeah.
So when she is, those moments where there's some recognition and she's awake and interacting, and I'm literally dancing around with her singing Louis Prima songs. Right. That's going to be something so much. It's so much fun. And Kelly brings it up, and she's like, I'm kind of jealous of, I'm jealous of that stuff with you, like that you get to do that stuff with her, and I'm like, I'm jealous of what you're
keeping her alive.
Yeah, I'm like, are you kidding? Like, trust me, like she's only happy when she's only happy when I pick her up, because she knows I'm going to bring her to you.
Yeah.
Right? Like, but I think it's nice, because I think she sees that there is bonding there. And I see it certainly with her, and she has fun. Like, she's singing to her all the time too. Yeah. And I think music is going to be a very big.
That just reminded me what I used to do to the kids when they were at that time I was just speaking about earlier, when they're sturdy, where you can kind of mess with them. So we used to be, we'd be at the restaurant or sitting down, whatever, and I would have the baby with me, and Trina would sit there and have a time. She's not holding the baby or feeding the baby or doing anything, and she's eating, and I would take take the hands, and I would pretend doing like Bruce Lee, and he would start doing blocks and doing over his head. The baby would do all these, oh my God, and Trina would laugh, and the baby and Natalia or Nick their face would be just
like I don't know what you're doing, but
they would laugh when they're that just brings back so many memories of doing that in restaurants and stuff, where it's like that little like you said, we can do that joking bonding.
Yes.
That
I think that's one of the things that I've seen a lot about, read a lot about. That it's play like that is good for babies. So I'm looking forward to lots more of that stuff.
I was lucky enough to be a stay-at-home dad with Nick. So I was really, even though I would wake up and run to my mother with my first child, by Nick, I was like, I'm good, I can do this. Yeah. So
honestly, like I think about yesterday was my first day back, and I had a full day. And it was a lot more than a couple times that I thought I would.
What am I already missing?
Yeah, like they're gonna she's gonna go for a walk, and I want to go for a walk. Like it's tough.
The worst thing when you're lucky enough to be home.
Yeah.
You can do a lot when you have to leave the house.
Yeah.
As both parents. Oh.
That will be, that's the, I can't
it's
imagine
tough, man.
thinking about
we did that. It's tough.
How hard things are. And we have all this, like, people didn't have, when there was no paternity leave.
No,
there was none of that. Like, you didn't have,
especially for guys.
There was maybe,
women had their,
but even, for my sister, when she was having her kids, there was none of that. She
went right back to work.
She had literally, my sister Lucille in Texas, when she had her daughter, my niece, she had 4 weeks off. Her husband worked. She had 4 weeks off. She went back to work, gave her notice, and because she couldn't,
she's like, nah,
she couldn't do it.
4 weeks.
And I can't. Like,
what is it now?
I think,
are they all different?
So I think different places are different. I mean, Kelly, her benefits are excellent. She gets 12.
Okay.
The state is 12.
Okay.
The state benefit, I get 8, which is great.
That wasn't even, imagine us.
Oh, for a paternity?
Father?
Yeah. So it is nice. But yeah, it's an incredible experience. And you realize when you start to see how quickly it goes by, you think, like,
it's too fast. No,
it's got to be. That's another thing that my sister in Texas, Lucille, said. She's like, when my time is over and I meet God, the first thing I'm going to tell him is the first year of life should take 2 years. You got it should, because it goes by so quickly.
And there's so many things you're throwing into that 1 year.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, so many things are happening.
Slow it down.
You got to slow it down. We make a joke with when we go on vacation, we're going to slow our vacation down. It never works because it feels like it's always.
It goes by.
That's how life should be. Like, let's slow this down.
Slow this part down.
Take advantage of every moment.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I mean, it's easy to say. It's hard when you're in it because things have to get done. People have to go to work.
Yep.
You have to make money. You have to provide. But it does go quickly.
Yep.
But that's why when you do have those moments, you do them and you cherish them.
Yep.
And you take the photos and the pictures. I mean, we were lucky enough. We have video.
Yep.
Where we didn't grow up with video. Our parents.
No.
I mean, we were lucky. If I see a picture of my parents when they were young, I don't even know how they look like.
Right.
Have you ever seen your parents as babies?
Oh, yeah, I got a couple.
I don't know. I can't say I did.
Luckily, not my mom, I don't think,
right?
But my dad, there's some pictures.
Isn't that crazy,
as little
though,
kids.
the thought of that?
Yeah.
And now we have, like, movies of our children.
Yeah.
Like, so
it is.
Nice.
That does make me think of some of this is another thing that has happened in the last couple weeks. So right after we got home, my sister Lucille, she's come up a lot this time.
Yeah, she's all over
Texas is all over it. So when she had my nephew, that was the first grandchild.
Okay.
Right. And my dad at the time decided he was gonna made a cradle.
Okay.
So, and he did like DIY stuff and he did some woodworking stuff, but this was the days before you could go to Home Depot and get like
everything you need to.
Everything you need to. So, but he made her a cradle, and she has had it. She has had it since, but her kids weren't interested in it. She had used it with both of her kids, but it was kind of in her garage, and she offered it to me. And I was like, yes, please. Like,
you take that stuff.
Oh, I could. Yeah, I was
Especially
thrilled to have
you.
it. I remember him making it, and then I was thinking about it. And so she went through a real hassle to break it down and ship it to me from Texas. It got here, and I'm looking at it.
You could break it down. I mean, it was
she was able to. It was a lot of work to take the rockers off the bottom,
gotcha,
so she could fit it in a reasonable box. Gotcha. It was hundreds of dollars to ship it,
sure.
Which I still have to send her, reimburse her for it. Good reminder. But so when I got it, I'm looking, I'm thinking, gee, and I kind of figure out how old my nephew is. So my father made that. He was the same age I am now when he made that cradle for his first grandchild.
So his first grandchild was your age.
He was born, was
55 years old.
Because it would have been. He was born in 1922, and I think Shane would have been born in 78 or 79. So he was He was 56 years old. I will be 56 this year. So he is the same. He made that at the same age I am now, and I'm going to refinish it and make it, you know, kind of spruce it up a little bit.
Crazy though?
It was awesome. It was fun to just see something that he made and how he approached, because I think he made it out of like, when I'm looking at it, I'm looking at the lumber. I think he made it out of like framing lumber.
Oh, really?
Like it's like out of like, because it wasn't like, because back then I don't know where we would have even gotten like good wood you know, unless it was working, you know,
mahogany.
Yeah, no, like it's
here's an oak.
It looks dimensional. It looks like it's dimensional lumber.
That's
so I'm gonna have fun with that. The other thing that I think is really cool, thanks to the generosity of my cousins. So my dad was one of three. It was him, my Uncle Johnny, and my Aunt Mary. My Uncle Johnny has my three cousins, Mark, Jack, and Judy. Judy lives here and lives in the house where they grew up in Liverpool.
Okay.
And my uncle had, years ago when he was still alive, apparently in the basement of the house my father and his siblings grew up in, on Highland Street on the north side, there was a high chair. It is a high chair rocker. So it looks like a little rocking chair, but you can pull it up and it will come up into a high chair.
Like a tripod, like legs?
Like 4 legs. It just, I'll have to put a picture on it. I haven't posted anything.
Like it comes, like
it's like,
it
just, it's hard to explain, but it's like the rockers are doubled. So when you rock it up, it goes like that.
Oh, okay.
And it goes from a rocking chair to a high chair.
To a high chair.
And
that's neat.
So this was, my father, like I said, was born in 1922. This was the high chair that my father was fed in. This is his high chair, and then his siblings.
And somebody
obviously
has this?
I have it now. My uncle found it, and he had taken I guess he had learned how to cane like the seat. He recaned it, refinished it. I remember he showed me when he first did it. One of the rockers had kind of rotted because it was in the basement. Yeah. He repaired it, made it so it looks
original.
It looks brand new, and it works all fine. And she happened to be going through the attic of their home. They've got all this stuff from you know, family members.
Sure.
And they were generous enough to let me have it.
Wow.
So literally it's got to be 103 years old. And it was literally, I'll be able to put my daughter in a high chair that my father sat in.
And ate.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I just about cried.
That's crazy.
I was absolutely, I couldn't be more grateful to have that. So now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish the cradle he made to match the high chair. So it'll look at least the same finish. But yeah, it's a really cool piece.
Is cool.
It's all, the back is all carved and laid. It's really beautifully made. Was
that a bought thing or somebody made it custom?
I can't imagine anybody who could have made that. It was something that they must have bought. Okay. Yeah.
That's going to be, man.
Yeah. I was so, it's absolutely.
That's something you want to pass on, and your daughter's going to.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Try to keep it as.
I was absolutely thrilled to have that.
That's a cool thing, man. You're how life keeps going. You know, like we always talk about, unfortunately, death happens. But you know what? We keep living, man.
Yep.
We keep living in things.
There's absolutely
objects and memories and life. Not trying to be sappy, but it doesn't really end. I mean, we lost our parent, your parents, and I lost my mom, but we're always talking about them like they're here, and it keeps them. It keeps their life going.
I think
it's weird.
I think you can. I think there's certain things that always live on. I think for some people, a lot of bad things live on, and the wrong things live on. But if you're lucky, you notice in yourself the good things, and you can feel like that your life is a little in some way an extension of theirs. And it's a wonderful thing. And then when there are these things that have just find their way back into your life.
That's what I mean.
The idea that
exactly. That's what I mean. Like, oh my God, no, that's still living.
Yeah.
That's still around. That's still current. That's still here.
Yeah.
You have to realize not everybody grows up like in a good situation.
No. Yeah.
You know, and it's sad because when you look at these babies, this innocent babies that should have everything and love and warmth and that's not always the case.
It is. It's very different. And I think it's good
to have that.
It's good to see it sometimes because it does make you appreciate the
things we went through and thought we were going,
and it makes you appreciate the good stuff that much more. But so that was a really
that's nice to have.
No, I was
to keep around and
big
that
things.
First time you feed them, you're going to be like, this is crazy.
Yes.
First time the baby's on there.
Yep. Yeah. It'll be a while.
Your dad was eating.
My dad sat in that thing. It is absolutely it's crazy. So big thanks to my cousin Judy.
Yes.
Who listens to the podcast.
Shout out.
Yes, it's a very, very awesome thing. So, but that's kind of where we are. I think we might be able to get back to weekly. So we had a couple 2-week breaks, but
people have been screaming in the streets. We need more.
Clamoring
we need more
to find out. We need another diaper diet update.
How skinny is Frank now?
Yeah, we'll see. I think we'll be able to get back into that rhythm. It's going good. We appreciate you making it to the end of yet another episode of the Gray Hair and Daycare Podcast. What do you think? Did you think we would ever make it to 22?
You know, I honestly, I'm going to say it, and I'm not just saying it. Yes, I did.
Yeah?
Because I know when you start something and when I start something, it usually goes well.
That's right.
Episode 22 in the books.
Yeah, that's it. We will see you again soon. Thank you. Bye. Well, folks, that's another episode of the Gray Hair and Daycare Podcast in the books. Thanks very much for tuning in and spending this time with us. We hope it was fun. If you enjoyed this week's descent into the madness of dadness, be sure to subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss any of our future adventures. And while you're at it, give us a like and share the cast with your friends on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Carrier Pigeon, whatever you crazy kids are using. Have any hilarious parenting stories of your own? Questions about navigating fatherhood later in life, or even when normal people do it? Email us at ghdc.podcast@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to bed.